that you got as a gift of yourself. He will buy it now, today, for $2,000 if you'll sell it to him.
$2,000?
$2K. Yes, sir.
Is he crazy?
I mean,
Hey, I think that'd have to be sold. I'd have to sell that $2,000. That's like half of what Chuck gets paid to do a Razorback football game.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
this brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Bo, is Jerry going to hire Dion? Is this actually going to happen?
Why would it not?
I got up this morning and I read this, and they talked last night, evidently. Well, we were sleeping. They were talking. And I don't know if he's going to be the new guy or not, but he says they had a delightful conversation.
Let me ask you a question. What would be
right.
more Jerry than hiring Dion?
Well, that's as Jerry as it gets. And how many use delightful in everyday conversation, too? I mean, I didn't have delightful. You know, when Dion was asked about his conversation with Jerry, I didn't think delightful would be the word that would come out of his mouth.
Here's the thing that neither one of them maybe realize. They both require a gargantuan spotlight. And I don't know if two spotlights exist big enough to house both of them at AT&T Stadium. Very, very impressive stadium. A lot of impressive things about it. I just don't know. Like, wow. Those guys both take up the whole room.
You think people talk about the Cowboys too much now for a team that's not won anything in a long time? Just wait till they hire Dion. I mean, ESPN will be like the Cowboys network.
I'm not saying Dion can't win as the Cowboys coach.
Oh, he can.
But at some point, I know. Jerry Jones figured out winning is not how you spell success. Attention
well, Jerry spells
is how you
success
spell
making
success. Right.
He spells it M-O-N-E-Y.
Right. But if Jerry Jones was making all the money in the world and nobody was paying attention to him, he wouldn't be okay. He's got to have that spotlight. And this is
well,
so
they go
spotlight
hand in hand for him. They go hand in hand for him. And, hey, look, go back to how these, how he made his fortune. I mean, he swings for the fences, man. I mean, he was a wildcatter. And those guys are the ultimate gamblers. So, Dion would be a gamble, but I think Dion can do it.
As a Cowboys fan, who would you pick to be the next coach if you could?
Well, honestly, if I was I am a Cowboys fan. If I could pick the next coach, I'd pick Mike Tomlin. But because I think that's in order right now there. But I don't know that, he could. I don't know that Jerry would really let him do what he does. But under the circumstances, I mean, I wouldn't have any problem with Dion.
How's the weather in Baton Rouge today, by the way?
Well, it's chilly.
Yeah.
It's chilly.
I know you haven't looked at the temperature,
downtown.
but you probably know just from the way you wake up in the morning. You probably know what it is without looking.
Well, my understanding was it was supposed to be in the mid-40s overnight. So if I'm going to guess, I'm going to say like 44 or something like that. But, I posted up downtown, not far from LSU, and so basketball game. Long day of waiting until an 8 o'clock tip-off tonight.
It's 36.
Is it really?
36 in Baton Rouge this morning.
Wow.
It's gonna get up to 57 today.
Yeah.
And
that's not bad.
Yeah, no. And here, I think we're gonna get up to the 40s.
It'll be cold when we get back tonight.
Upper 40s. It's 21 right now.
Ooh.
Here on the hill in Fayetteville as the Hogs
go
on the road. The battle of the 0-3 teams tonight. 3-game losing streaks for two teams. Somebody's going to win.
I was looking at the numbers. Both teams are 11-5. Both teams are 0-3 in conference play. I think both teams have lost 3 in a row.
Right.
And both had won 6 of 7 before their respective 3-game losing streak.
Both teams 6-4 in their last 10 games.
Yep.
The difference between the two in conference play has been the schedule. LSU has lost to Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Ole Miss. Arkansas has lost to Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Florida. Arkansas is number 49 in the Ken Pom rankings. Did Ken Pom get banned, by the way, from like the NCAA selection committee, like in terms of using his rankings? Is that what happened? Did it come out?
I don't know, to be honest.
What happened with that?
I don't know. I know that he came to prominence, and I don't know. Anyhow,
we're still quoting him. He was Arkansas's 49th in the country in the Ken Pom rankings, and LSU 71. The Hogs are a 1.5 favorite tonight. I mean, this is must-see television for the country. Everybody's going to be watching because somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to win. This is like these moments in sports where you're going to feel good for somebody. I mean, they don't happen always, but somebody's going to win tonight.
Well, I sure hope it's Arkansas because, man, they need to win in the worst way.
Well, I think they will be.
And look, I'm sure LSU's thinking the very same thing.
Yeah. I think Arkansas, though, is just, people across the country, the way they're talking about the Razorbacks, we've gotten into this already. A lot of the people that are sitting around taking shots at Cal and just wishing for him to fail. He's like the Notre Dame of college football or the Ohio State of college football or Texas, where people just root against you. Like you root for your team and you root against anybody playing Notre Dame. That's the way it used to be. And we talked about these blue bloods and in the college football playoff and who do you root for? Is there anybody to root for when we got down to the final 4 teams? Well, that's sort of Cal for some people. People are all getting their licks in right now on Cal. But I did see a CBS sportscast or a podcast where it was not necessarily about hating on Cal. They were calling Arkansas the most disappointing team in the country through 3 games.
Well, I think for some people that may very well be true. I do think there's some piling on. I think there are some people that are enjoying the fact that Cal is struggling. I don't think it's necessarily they're enjoying the fact Arkansas is struggling, but they're enjoying the fact he is. I'm sure LSU tonight feels like this is a game we can win. You know, we can beat Cal tonight. We can beat Arkansas tonight. We can get our first SEC win. Look, the loser of tonight's game is they really are on the outside looking in, right? You know, not just for now, but it's going to be that way for a while. They're going to have to start putting together some wins. And so, you play 18 conference ball games and you can start doing the math. I'm of the opinion that it would take a minimum of 7 SEC wins to get in. And so you got, 15 games to go?
Yeah, win 7 of your last 15. Winning. Can Arkansas go 7-8 from here?
You know, it's funny. Somebody asked me that. We were talking about that yesterday, and I thought to myself, what if someone had said, with 15 games to go, back when the season began, if I told you, Bo, 15 games to go, we're going to wonder if Arkansas can go 7-8, and get into the NCAA tournament. It's just, the expectations. When you were talking about the difference between being 0-3 a minute ago for Arkansas and LSU, it's not just who you play, it's what people thought you'd be. And I don't know that the world's stunned by LSU being 0-3. But I think the college basketball world's pretty surprised Arkansas is 0-3.
I think Arkansas is surprised. But, again, I think the schedule has a little something to do with it. And I'm interested to see how it plays out.
No, it does. No, there's no doubt that that's a big part of the reason that Arkansas is 0-3. I'm talking about from a perception perspective. I just don't think that's what people expected.
Everywhere I go, people bring it up. This is what people want to talk about now. They want to what's going on with the basketball team? It used to be not too long ago, a few weeks ago. So what's happening with the Razorback football team? Everybody's leaving. It's in disarray. And every day I get up and I read the newspaper online, of course, and it is there's another player coming. I mean, how many players is Arkansas going to sign?
Well, you know, it's funny how when players leave, you're right. I mean, we took so many calls, constant text, endless conversation. It's, you know, this is terrible. This is awful. Our program's, you know, it's just falling apart. Well, then you go win the Liberty Bowl, and then all of a sudden you're bringing in a bunch of players, some of whom sound like they're pretty good. In some spots, you probably made an even trade. In other spots, it looks like you've traded up. So, hey, if I'm of the opinion if these offensive linemen that they've signed work out, it's a good class, regardless of the other guys.
They've signed 19 guys. They've got more committed, and they're the 9th or 8th ranked portal class in the country. Top 10 portal class. We'll see what happens.
SEC teams should be in the top 10 of the portal. I mean, they in the Big Ten got the most money to spend, so they should be in the top 10. And my point is, I think they've done exactly what they needed to do. You know, I think everybody kind of had a pretty good idea as the season wore on. There were going to be some guys that were going to, you know, not be invited back. And there were going to be some guys that were going to leave, and you know, nobody was going to be upset because they wanted those scholarships. And so it's really, I think it's gone according to what they had planned, to be honest with you.
Edward has taken over the Situation Room. Bart's
Is
not,
that right?
Yeah, Bart's not fully operational. He's got his headphones off. He's over there.
I don't know what's
drinking
going on.
coffee.
Well, I
He's
can't.
What, do we have
can't-
issues?
Something's
Well,
wrong with the audio cable. I can't hear Chuck at all,
yeah,
so I
it's-
don't know when to chime in.
This is just,
and-
it's become the norm. It's become the norm. Come in here and expect something to be. We've still got a camera facing. No, we don't. There it is. It's out of the shipping container, and it's over there on Edward now. And so we go to Edward in the other situational room.
Situation Room 2.
It's situational. We got Situation Room and Situational Room.
That's
Edward,
right.
what can you tell us from Studio 48 about Ken Palm? Everybody's dying to know.
Yes, back to Ken Palm from like 10 minutes ago. Ken Palm, the NCAA shot down a false report that they were not going to use Ken Palm anymore. So they are still using it, they being the selection committee. They use it as a tool. It's not the gospel, but they do use it.
Yeah, okay.
And then there are 2 new metrics being introduced this year that
So they shot down the false report. There was a false report. That's
guess so,
shocking that
yeah.
there would be a false report.
But I remember seeing that too.
Well, the
Yeah.
competition's fierce in the analytical community.
Yes.
I mean, you know.
I just remember sitting around on Christmas morning, and I was thinking of Ken Palm and just thinking how sad his life must be. Little did I know that he was just fine.
Yep, he's good.
So that's good to hear. Happy New Year, Ken Palm. Can we get Ken on the show?
I don't know exactly what
He's a real
goes
person.
into Ken
Yeah,
Palms.
Ken Pomeroy.
Yeah, I mean,
got him on-
listen,
I know.
Mr. Pomeroy.
I know, but I just want to humanize him a little
Pomeroy.
bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what makes his formula any more special than, you know,
Well, there's
someone
a
not named
new
Ken Pomeroy.
new guy named Bart or something Torvik. I think it's
Yeah,
Bart
yeah,
Torvik.
Bart.
Twervik.
He's in the ring now. So
Kids,
they
can we
should
talk to
fight.
the kids for a second? If you're looking for, if you're looking for a career, just there's
Pomeroy.
if you just start doing analytics, if you just start doing the math on sports, and you start posting it at the age of like 8, get started early. You can be somebody. Like
Here's
just
the thing. I mean,
there's
nobody
an
knows
open
it.
opportunity there.
Nobody knows if what you're saying is right or not.
That's
I
right.
mean, you're just like baffling people with all these numbers, and it's like, man, that guy seems really smart, but I don't know if they are or not.
Well, that's what we call social media now, too. It's not just
you're right
analytics,
about
it's
that.
social media. I was listening on the way in to the national show before ours, and that's the only way to proceed this show is nationally.
Right.
I mean, it could do an overnight
course.
show, but it just wouldn't, you know, we got to hear national stuff before we get into this huge show, the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning, by the way. And I was listening to Adam Schefter, and he was talking about, they were interviewing Adam Shefty. They were interviewing Shefty about the Dion and the Dallas Cowboys situation. And I was reminded that when Shefty talks, when Adam Schefter delivers a report, the only way that you don't believe it is if it's from a fake account. But otherwise, if you know it's Adam Schefter, you believe it. And I was just reminiscing of days gone by when that used to be true of reports in the media. Like when Mort, our dear friend Mort, who we've lost, or Adam Schefter reported something, and still when Schefter does, you believe it because he has credibility and he has a track record of doing the homework. And now when there's a report, like virtually almost anywhere, you don't know whether you can believe it or not. We've lost this thing called credibility when it comes to actual reporting. And this is just my little rant for the day on where we are in the world. But
well, you're right about that.
I mean, it's wild.
Well, here's what I think happens in the media. People who are not reporters try to report. A talk show host does not make you a reporter. Repeating what you have heard somebody else say does not make you a reporter. Reporters actually, find out what's factual and what's not. Reporters report on things like sources say Mike McCarthy's not coming back as the Cowboys coach. That's not the same as you or me coming on the air saying, I don't think he's coming back. And someone will say, well, Bo and Chuck reported he's not coming back. No, we didn't. We said we didn't think he was. Too many guys out there that are not actual reporters try to report, and they're 9 times out of 10, they're never completely right.
There you go.
9 times out of 10, they're never. How about
and that's how it works. That's how, 50% of the time, every time. 877-377-6963. It's cold. It's chilly this morning. It's going to warm up as the day goes on, pretty much like it did yesterday. Hope you're getting out of bed just fine this morning. Be careful getting out. It's still dark out. Chuck's in Baton Rouge. I'm on the hill
here too.
In the studio. The game is forever away tonight. Arkansas will play at LSU shortly before midnight is what it feels like to me.
That's
But
right.
it's actually
That's
an
what
8
it feels
o'clock.
like to me, too.
It's an 8 o'clock tip. Back in a minute. Good morning. It's 6:19.
The way you guys have fancied up the pig in the blanket, I mean, it's just kolache now is part of my vocabulary.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Give me one of those kolaches.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Best brands, best people, best inventory, best place. You want selection? You'll find it at the Auto Park. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. We're talking 4 of the best brands on the planet. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Plus, certified pre-owned Toyotas, Hondas, Acuras, and Chevys. Why settle for anything less than the best? Best brands, best people, best inventory, best place. Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Proud.
Check us out online at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. That's FayettevilleAutoPark.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit GoPaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978. There's nothing we enjoy saying more than I told you so.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermals, socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter.
What do you want to vent about? What do you want to vent? These lineman gifts now, okay? A couple rules. I mean, you and I did them, right? And take care of these guys because they deserve to be taken care of. But we have to spend our own money, quarterbacks. We can't be. So I'm not accusing anybody of not spending money. Promotion. I'm just saying we have to spend our money, all right? And the other thing, it's not a Christmas gift. You have to block well to get a gift. You don't have, like, a couple years, like, we didn't make the playoffs. I didn't get my guys anything. Like, you didn't block that well. So you don't feel obligated, quarterbacks, if your team doesn't make the playoffs, you have to get them a gift. That's like a participation medal. Block well, I'll give you a gift, right? No wolf, no punt, okay? No playoffs, no gift.
Didn't you give, in high school, didn't you give your linemen some gifts in high school?
I got them isotoner gloves, which it gets very cold in New Orleans, but that was kind of a cool thing to do. Marino was doing commercials for it. I'm like, I had a little allowance money from cleaning the pool and brought them. Hey, we had a good year. We made the playoffs. They deserved it. So, look, I took care of all my guys, Saturday and Tarek. They'll tell you.
Or take $7,000 in discounts. And
you give in high school,
no punt, okay? No playoffs, no gift.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Classic.
You're telling me it's not about me.
Well, not entirely. No, don't misunderstand me. It is all about you, but maybe not quite to the degree that we might hope.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
877-377-6963. It is the Chuck and Bo Show. Chuck's in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is the site tonight.
Red Stick, yep.
How are you feeling about Arkansas basketball? Good morning, people. How are you feeling?
Good morning.
About Arkansas basketball? I see people struggling, much like the team has been, and I just want to hear from people. Like Sterling made a point yesterday, and I'm guilty of this, and I apologize, but that sometimes Chuck and I, we just come out and we tell you what we think is happening and what's going on and our opinions, and then it's like, well, there you go. That all sounds logical or reasonable or rational, and I got nothing left to say. And you don't have to be, look, the whole world, we got a whole world of people not being reasonable. I mean, feel free to join that. And so you don't have to be reasonable or rational. Like, we can talk about it. Like, where are you with Arkansas basketball? Just very simply, where are you? Maybe you want to text, that's fine. Call. It is a call, like it is a live radio and a streaming show. So we like to have conversation as well. 877-377-6963. But, if texting's your thing, that's fine. Maybe you want to put us on like speakerphone while you're getting ready this morning. Walking around the house, you're listening on the app. You hit that Line app presented by Taco Bell. Now I've got that in your head where you're thinking about something cheesy or crunchy or tasty. Like, maybe I'll do that for breakfast. But you don't just have to listen on the app. You can actually just switch over to the call part of your phone, and you won't have to listen to any terrible hold music or anything like that, like I did yesterday. I tell you, I'm getting so annoyed, Chuck, with apps. Like,
what happened?
Well, Delta, I spent half the show. I don't know if you could tell. Knew. I was distracted during the show.
You were upset when we were on the air.
Yeah,
you were upset.
So then I finally I get done and I get with the show and I go over to my office and I get on my laptop and it's no problem. Their app stinks. That's what happened. And then yesterday, later in the day, I don't know what's wrong with, I won't mention the name, Bank of America. I don't know what's wrong with their situation, but I've called and told them 5 times now, hey, this is my bank account. The bank account listed on there no longer belongs to me. In fact, it doesn't exist anymore. Just one of the things that happens when you get divorced. And that was years ago. And they still have the wrong bank account. I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, I changed credit cards. That's not my bank account. So when I call and I make a payment over the phone, they actually have my bank account. But for whatever reason, they can't get it right online. And it's just like 15, 20 minutes of something that's supposed to take 2 minutes. So you don't have to deal with that.
Throughout all this?
Was I calm?
Did you calmly explain to her? Did you calmly explain to her what the situation was, or him, whoever it was?
I never actually spoke to a human. I did yell at the automation. I did yell at the automation.
I've done that.
Especially when they misunderstand you, and you yell at. That's not what I'm saying.
You start calling them names.
I want the automation to yell back.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
Is to yell at the automation to the point where the automation actually yells back.
Well, that's the thing about Siri. Like, Siri shows us how we should all live, because no matter how you yell or what you say to Siri, it'd be, that's not very nice.
I need Southern Siri, because evidently sometimes when I ask Siri something, she says she can't understand what I'm saying. And I think it's got something to do with the accent. I think we need more regional Siri so they can understand the dialect.
That's a good point.
That's what I think.
I think that's the next step.
I do think that.
Although I've got to say I don't have much hope, because the iPhone has gotten worse with voice texting. Do you voice text? You do any voice texting, Chuck? Chuck left.
Something's happened.
I voice text a lot. Almost exclusively. Like, if you gave me a choice, I would just voice text. And I don't know, does that make me old? Or does that make me middle-aged? I think there's a, like, the old, like, if you're a certain,
very fine line.
If you're a certain age, like too old, I don't think you voice text.
I can tell you right now, I don't.
And then you get to an age slightly younger than me, and you don't voice text. And I don't understand why. Why wouldn't you voice text? Well, I will say there is one problem, though. Like, it's gotten worse at dictation. Like, I know it doesn't sound like what they come up with when I voice text something. Like, sometimes I'm like, how in the world did they come up with that? Be very careful. You don't want to send it without proofing it after you voice text. Because that I've been burned by that before. James in Fort Smith, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all this morning?
Man, doing great. How are you?
Great. Just want to talk a little basketball. Pretty good, thank you. My thoughts on the basketball is you have a brand new team, brand new players. I was busy. I didn't get to watch the Florida game, but what I seen in the Ole Miss game is you got 5 players out there playing almost individually. They're going to have, once they learn to play as a team, and, their offense is better than their defense, of course. I was watching on their defense, there ain't no help on the backside when, one of our guys get beat, stuff like that. And that's just stuff that Kyle got to put together being a brand new team. I mean, basically you got all-stars for every player there, and, they're going to do what they do, but they're just going to have to learn to come together. And I think that's one of our biggest problems. I'll hang up there and listen to what you guys have to say.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I think you're right on it. And I think it's a very reasonable take that they have talent. I don't think it, not only is it playing together, individually, it's becoming confident in your footing and where you are. It's sort of like, to me, Chuck, being in, an uncomfortable work environment versus being in your spot. Like, you're in a hotel room today. I'm sure it's a palatial, just swanky.
It's very small, actually.
You're probably in there's probably like a giant hot tub in the middle of your room. I have this vision of you just kind of sitting on the edge of it doing the show today. And so maybe today doesn't apply to you. But
that's standard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's standard. But it's always in my rider.
But when you don't have all your stuff, like working remotely versus working in your office, and you don't have all your stuff, you're trying to do all your work out of like the corner of a Starbucks somewhere. you're just not as comfortable. And I think that, like, what I see with this team is they just haven't gotten into their individual, like, confidence zones.
You know, we're going to have Pat Bradley on a little bit later today, and Pat was talking about this on the SEC Network the other night, and the importance of communication, the things that we don't see because you can't necessarily see it watching on television, and the things we don't hear because, we just don't, we're hearing other things. It's the communication out there, I think, in some instances, defensively, that's gotten them beat. He was talking about no help. That has been an issue. That's a communication issue. And Pat really broke it down well the other night. They had the telestrator out, you know how they do the video, and he goes, stop it right there.
And that's what happened. He stopped it right there, and then Chuck's internet went out. David and Cersei, but I understand, what he's saying. Being connected on defense, you've seen that break down, quite a bit, and that's part of it, a huge part of it. Always talking. David and Cersei, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, fellas. First of all, Chuck, let me say that because of the overtime game on the other game that was on the ESPN, I actually got to listen to you call our game when they switched it over to ESPN News, and it was wonderful, man. It was great. And you're just amazing. One of the best I have ever heard, and I go back a long ways, and it was a real pleasure. And then when they switched back, I couldn't do it, man. The time gap, it just blows my mind, the time gap. I just can't do that. Bo, what you said yesterday was one of the most enlightening things I've ever heard, and that's why you are where you are today. You said our basketball team looked uncomfortable. Heck, Bo, you nailed it so bad, I'm uncomfortable while I'm watching this play. And, I mean, really, it's kind of, I'm just waiting for something bad to happen during the game, which causes us to lose. And I hate to be like that, but I'm almost to the point where in the football season when, we lose a game or two we should have won, your mind starts going, well, Coach Cal's basketball team's coming up before long. Am I to the point where I've started looking at the roster on the baseball team and see our three starting pitchers who have all been nominated for All-American? Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of that. I haven't given up, but, and before I go, I got to say one thing. This past weekend, something happened to me, and it caused me to really search my own soul. I had to, I don't know, I felt so dirty what I was feeling that I should really go take a shower and try to wash it off. I almost called my pastor. It was just a terrible thing happening to me. During the game, I almost found myself wishing the team with the white helmets and the orange cows could possibly win. And I thought, what in the world is happening to you? You should apologize to every Razorback fan over the age of 60. Well, everything turned out and they lost, and so all is well with the world, but I just want to apologize to the older Razorback fans. It'll never happen again. I see no scenario where that could ever happen again. And once again, thanks for the great job you guys are doing. Y'all are top-notch, man.
You're kind. And, David, I just want to thank you for getting us started on Confession Tuesday. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Just bare your heart, your soul, those dark feelings. It is a Confession Tuesday. 6:35. We're here for it. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
And Hog Noxious, our listeners just don't let us down. He said, Chuck, explain it to them. Smash or trash by saying swipe right or left.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the
Hey,
Omaha.
what a great
The Hogs are going to Omaha. Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at WheelerPowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Great point, Bo.
Thank you.
I'm Chuck. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. I'm going to start taking credit. Like when you make a great point, I'm going to call myself
All
Chuck.
right, fair enough.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I was about to do that a minute ago when David was complimenting Chuck, but then he went on to complimenting everyone, and so I got involved, and I couldn't pretend to be Chuck. We're brought to you in part by Oaklawn, Oaklawn Sports. Arkansas is a 1.5-point favorite tonight on the road at LSU. The playoffs are here for both college and the NFL. Download the Oaklawn Sports app at the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and sign up today. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Arkansas's best sporting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Jimmy's in Conway. Jimmy, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Top of the morning to you, fellas. I got two things here for you. The basketball, when your number one paid NIL player really hasn't played like the number one paid NIL player should, you're going to have issues. And he's also a senior, and he's not playing like a senior. So, but that's one thing. Second thing that would really help Arkansas, the Dallas Cowboys hire Lane Kiffin. What do you think about that?
Hey, I'd be all for it on both counts. On both counts for the Razorbacks and the Cowboys. I like Kiffin, but I think he's a college coach, and not that there's anything, not that one's better than the other. I just think his wheelhouse is in the college game.
How about Sark?
Sark's a really good coach. I wouldn't have a problem with that. That would be another deal. You know, I think that we'd benefit by him not being at Texas, and the Cowboys would probably step up from, you know, maybe where they've been from an offensive standpoint. But I'm telling you, if this gets out on Monday, which it did yesterday, that McCarthy's gone, and by last night he's talking on the phone to Deion. And a lot of these former Cowboys from that era, you know, Michael Irvin in particular, they've been real vocal about the fact that they want Deion to be the coach. And there's something to this. I mean, there is. I don't know if he's the guy, but I can't imagine. And I mean, Deion made sure he did an interview about it. So that kind of puts the onus on Jerry too, because not only is the word out that they've talked. I mean, Deion saying, "Yeah, we talked. We had a delightful conversation."
Well,
delightful.
It's interesting. You know, we talk about coaches all the time in college, and usually this time of year there's a huge coaching carousel in college football, and we haven't seen very much of that because, you know, the firing squad, it's like it's on hold because of all the money being spent on players. But every year the NFL is trying to find somebody who can coach. And it's usually, you know, 3 to 5 jobs, maybe more. And they all, like, they cycle through the same guys. Like, it's just like you're a quarterback and you're going to go play for another team. And
I don't even know who half the coaches are in the NFL.
Well, then they start looking for new guys. That's where I'm going next. It's like, let's try this coordinator. Let's try this guy from college. And I really don't know what the criteria is. I don't know if they know what the criteria is. Like the way they hire coaches in the NFL, I don't know if it's a popularity contest. Like what is your criteria? There's no, to me, there's like very little rhyme or reason. It's more like, I'm bored, let me try this.
Well, case in point, Cliff Kingsbury. You know, I mean, how does Cliff Kingsbury go from being a 500 coach at Texas Tech to being like an NFL mainstay? I mean, he's in the NFL as long as he wants to be. Look, it's a different game, and I get all that. I don't, you know, I don't know enough about coaching to, you know, say why one guy does well at one level and doesn't do well at another. But some guys are cut out for that, and some guys are cut out for the college game.
645, the Chuck and Bo Show, brought to you in part by First Security Bank, Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, and Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. 877-377-6963. Where are you with 0-3 Arkansas basketball as they hit the road against LSU tonight? Tip off at 8 o'clock. Back in a minute.
What do you think Brian at Ozark was doing under the full moon? I have a vision of some peyote, a tailgate, and a Keystone Light.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies, provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
You say, well, that's a tough thing to say. Well, we live in a tough world.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You were still on the air when I went to sleep last night.
Yeah. Was I the last voice you heard?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck, tell me who just give me 5 of the best coaches in the NFL. Go. Fire away.
Who?
Yeah.
Five,
we've been talking
five of the
about it
best
here in the
coaches in the.
studio.
Well, hang on a minute. I got to think about it.
Well, it starts with
Who's
Andy
the best
Reid.
team in the NFL right now?
Starts with Andy Reid.
Andy Reid's the best
Your favorite,
coach out there,
your favorite
probably.
team to pick. That coach has to be in there. The Ravens.
The Ravens. John Harbaugh's a good coach. I think Jim Harbaugh's a pretty good coach. I don't know. I guess it'd start right there. I think Dan Quinn's done a good job with the Commanders this year. I think he's a pretty good coach.
Oh, look at you. Threw a new name in there. Edwards got this.
Wrong Dan. Wrong Dan.
No, but you have a different Dan. But I mean,
Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, you know. People love him.
Applebee's. He's a neighborhood guy.
I think Dan Campbell's a football guy. I mean, he's a football guy.
Andy Reid's a football guy. I mean, who's better than
Reid's-
Andy Reid right now?
Nobody.
Having a great quarterback certainly helps. But he did this with the Eagles, too, back in the day. People forget he had a lot of success in Philadelphia. And, no, he's a lifer and good coach.
Chuck Barrett reporting today that Deion Sanders will be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Put it on social media.
Shefty.
Post it. Yeah.
Shefty. You got to give
Chuck
me a nickname
said,
on
yeah,
here.
that's right. Yeah. I don't know. We got to come up with that.
I
Chucky,
had no idea.
doesn't work.
I had no idea that these guys, these breaking news guys, make as much as they do. That NBA guy that retired, and then they hired that other guy for like $7 or $8 million a year.
Yeah.
It's like I had no idea.
Yeah, you would have went a
No
different
idea.
route. You should have been breaking news.
Yeah, I
your
really
whole
would
career.
have.
You would have been a great breaking news guy.
I was a news guy before I got into this sports thing. See, I started back when you couldn't do sports for a living. You had to start in news, and you did sports on the side.
I want to go back and hear that. Do we have tapes? Do we have old tapes of Chuck doing the news?
Hey, I was an award-winning newscaster.
I can only imagine. Yeah.
I was.
Give me a little sample. Last
This
night,
was
3
the-
people
hey,
were
this
up
was
at
like
the corner
40
of Dixon and
40
West
years
Avenue.
ago. Overnight accident. Overnight was always a good term.
Yeah, you were
Morning news. You made it sound like it was action news.
The backside of the
like
storm
stuff that happened.
is the most dangerous
that's
part of the
right.
storm. Don't forget.
That's exactly right.
Buckle up and
That's
drive with
exactly
care.
right. No, that's how everybody started back then. Because nobody, you couldn't make a living. There was no sports radio back then.
Well,
you guys are too young to remember this.
Well, I do remember. I remember moving to Arkansas and wiring up a radio so I could hear you in the AM radio
up,
circuit.
yeah.
You get a hanger.
Put that coat hanger?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
put
and
that coat
way I
hanger
could
on
listen
there.
to Chuck Barrett, this phenom everybody was talking about. Chuck
You weren't all
Barrett,
that
he's the only
impressed.
radio guy around here.
What's all the fuss about?
Yeah, there's a sign in
Now-
Hog City
now
Diner
I'm
in the
just old.
basement down there of the OPO there at Cheers on the Square. Still going
Sign's
strong.
not there now. It's in my office. I've got that sign.
You do.
I do. I
Chuck
have that
Barrett
sign.
Sports Wrap. 877-377-6963. Pardon us while we go down memory lane for a moment.
Yeah.
I don't know how we
sorry.
got from NFL coaches to Chuck as a
Let me
news
tell you boys what it used to be like.
Yeah.
Those are always the best stories.
Yeah, I'm getting text here about the Hogs. We'll read them. We'll take your calls coming back. Arkansas 0-3, LSU 0-3. Somebody's going to win tonight when they tip it off at 8 o'clock in Baton Rouge. It's the Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, This is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit GoPaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it. The Chuck and Bo Show.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, it's going to be beautiful with lots of sunshine. A high this afternoon approaching 50 degrees. We will see an increase in the cloud cover tonight and overnight low in the low to mid 20s. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, low to mid 40s, and we should be in the low 50s by Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. My Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Randy Milam in Alma or Agent Brandon Zimmerman in Barland.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Todd Richardson here at First Financial Mortgage. My mortgage lender, Ethan Adamson. Ethan, congratulations. Over 300 five-star reviews.
Yeah, Todd, we pride ourselves on delivering a five-star service during the entire mortgage process.
What sets you apart from everyone else?
I think communication, how quickly we work, we get you closed on time or early. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Well, you know, if you'd watched any of the local newscasts last night, they would have talked to you like you had a single-digit IQ, and they would have told you exactly what to put in your car, like a blanket, you know, maybe some gloves, a coat. How about a coat?
It's hot out. They go, police officer Chief Smith says, like, here are some tips to stay hydrated.
Yeah,
and
drink
then
plenty
they
of
cut
water.
to the interview, and he's like, so you want to stay hydrated by drinking water, maybe some Gatorade?
God, thank God they're there.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball white guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Chuck's in Baton Rouge. You're going to call the game tonight. I'm in the studio. I've taken the hat off. I don't know how
I noticed that.
Is it like shiny? Is it blinding?
It's like a beacon.
A blind.
It's like a beacon.
Yeah. That sounds very positive. That sounds like
well, it is
pointing in the right direction.
You're like a North Star. You're like a North Star right
That's
now.
what I'm going for.
You're a North Star, Bo.
On January 14th, 2025. Golly, we're 2 weeks into the new year already. Like, I keep thinking, I don't know why, but I just, I had no idea we were here. I felt like, you know, it was like the 5th or 7th or something yesterday, and it was the 13th yesterday. I was like, what? I'm watching, you know, some Kentucky media comes across my social media. You know, it used to be on social media, you get who you follow. Now they tell you, like, hey, this is for you. You should check this out. Like, no, it's not. That Kentucky stuff's not for me. They don't put it in front of me. I don't care. I don't want to see that.
It is everywhere.
That game against Kentucky's coming up February 1st. So I can't believe we're January 14th, but by my estimation, that's a couple weeks away. That's coming fast.
I mean, 2 weeks from Saturday.
Yeah.
2 weeks from Saturday.
That's coming fast. So
it's going to be a Saturday night game, and they will have all day to have gotten ready, and they'll be ready. I guarantee you.
I got a text here from Matt in Fox, Arkansas. My wife won't let me watch the basketball games anymore. Got to turn it around. Got to turn it around.
Tough scene.
Probably makes him too upset. He's too frustrated. Cecil in Fort Smith. Cecil, good morning. What's happening?
Good morning, fellas. My alarm just went off.
Oh, wow.
For the 5th time.
I wish I could have joined that plan today.
Yeah, I just want to get a little more insight on Deion, because I honestly think, just like I said yesterday, or whenever I said it, he wants the job. But the thing about going to the pros, man, he's more settled in for his not getting fired. He'll be there longer term at Colorado if he don't really just win. And the pros, you got to win. But it's different in Dallas because Jerry Jones is an Arkansan. He has a great heart for people, especially his quarterbacks. That's a proven fact. Deion was a Cowboy. He served Dallas well, and he lives there. And I was looking at I just pulled it up. Dallas is a 12th first-round pick. I don't know how they're going to swing that, but maybe they can get around the round table and make something happen. I think now what it is just some paperwork and some stuff going on. And, you know, my brother lives in Denver, and he sent me something early this morning, and it was on Dion saying about the players. If you get D's and F's, you're not gonna get all your money. If you wear flip flops, and that's a good speech. But look here, it's a business, and you done heard it, Chuck. But y'all done heard it before. You know where you say you hear a coach the game is over. They just won a championship, and the next minute he gone to a better job. So it's just a business. So. I mean, that would be great for him to be in Dallas. I'm sure he wants the job, though. I mean, there's no doubt that he don't want the job. And you know they're already talking and whatever they're doing. So I'm still looking at him to lead Colorado. And then I want to call in tomorrow, and I want to say we played a great game. I want to be able to say that. And I'm just hoping we get out and win and play a better game. And I think today we'll see some changes in the lineup. And I'll hang up, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
Well, Bart talked.
Thank you, Cecil.
Thank you. Bart talked yesterday about the two different lineups that Arkansas has had that are world beaters, one on defense and one on offense. And maybe they get to a point where they can figure out how to combine those two things. But they don't have just tons of players to go to. Well, they have what they have.
Here's what I'd like to see them do. And, I mean, this is one of those broad terms, but you got to play winning basketball. Everything's situational. I mean, everything in the game's situational. And Arkansas, in certain situations, has not played what I would characterize as winning basketball. You don't communicate when the other team back cuts on the, along the baseline, or you take a bad shot, or you don't play a heady style of basketball, and I think that's gotten them more than once. And so I don't think there's a magic wand that you're going to wave over this team and, suddenly make everyone perform to 100% capability. I think they're battling through some things right now, and it sounds corny and cliche-ish, but you got to stay in the fight while you're getting better, and that's hard to do, because when you're in the process of getting better, sometimes and we've seen it means you're getting beat, and that's when it's hard to stay in the fight, so to speak. And so I think this is it's an important week from that standpoint. But that's what I'd like to see him do tonight.
Bruce in Nashville asked, do you guys think Cal is like Nick Saban and just says the heck with it and retires because he doesn't want to deal with all this stuff coaching?
No, I don't think so. I don't see John Calipari retiring. I would be surprised. Frankly, I'm going to be honest, I don't buy into this 3 or 4 year thing. I think if it falls into place and it gets rolling, and I believe it will, I could see him coaching here longer than people think. Cal's got, 860-something wins? I'll bet in the back of his mind he'd like to get to 1,000. And I think he thinks he can do it here. So, but I mean, you gotta get your guys in.
877-377-6963. What are your thoughts on Arkansas basketball? What's the vibe, Chuck? How was the travel yesterday? What could you tell by the way the guys were walking around?
Here's the thing about teams. I've traveled with teams when I thought everybody was locked in, and then they get trounced. And I've watched teams that seem to be real lackadaisical when they travel and they come together and they play a good game. Hey, I will say this. If you've got a team where guys keep forgetting their uniform top, or, they got to go back to the hotel and get something they forgot, or something like that, or somebody didn't bring their driver's license, those are signs, but none of that's happening. Coaches talk about how you travel well. Sometimes that means there are no problems. And these guys, you know, they really do handle themselves well when they're on the road.
I'm just interested.
See, here's the thing. Let me say this. Really good players, guys who know they're going to the pros, despite what you might think, those are not the guys who are out all night. They're not. They're much more businesslike than people think. It's the guys that are on the periphery, the guys that don't play. Sometimes they're the ones you better worry about.
This is a professional situation. Like the whole setup, you know, if you go over there to practice, which I've been over there, if you go, you know, if you're around these guys, and Chuck's around them a lot, it's a very professional setup. I mean, Cal runs a professional organization. The guys are expected to act professionally. Like, I don't think there's any kind of issue like that with this team. I really think, and I continue to say, these guys are really good. They've got to get comfortable in the environment they're working in, the team they're playing with. How does that happen? I think it's one of those things that could happen in a game, and you kind of the switch flips, and here you go, and then it continues to improve from there. And I think we've seen some moments with that. I don't look at this team as having like fatal flaws. I just think they have to get to a point where they're comfortable so they can have confidence and play like they're capable of playing. And it looks like it's getting better, but you haven't had much leeway in these first 3 games to make the kind of mistakes that happen when you're on that journey and still win the game. Other teams, like if you go play the schedule LSU's played, you're probably 2-1 right now instead of 0-3. If you played Missouri, and we'll find out because they're about to play Missouri. But if you play those games at home, for example, you know, teams that aren't ranked. I mean, this is Arkansas's first game in conference. Their 4th game in conference is against an unranked opponent. That's the first game they've played in these 3 games against an unranked opponent. And your first thing is going to say, well, I mean, yeah, but we should be beating ranked teams. Yeah, and you have. And that, I think, will come if they continue to develop. But as you're figuring it out, to have to play 3 in a row of those, it just doesn't give you much room for error. And so you end up with 3 losses because you haven't played particularly well. But even not playing particularly well, Chuck, to lose by only, it sounds like a moral victory, by only 8 to Florida, there were positives in there. They didn't even play well.
I think when you look at schedules, and I do this, I look at it in stretches. I think seasons are made up of a series of stretches. And I didn't think Arkansas would go 0-2 last week at home. I'm going to be perfectly honest in retrospect and tell you I didn't know if they'd go 2-0, but I did not expect them to go 0-2. My gut said they'd split. They didn't, and so now you're in a spot where you got to make up some ground. But you know, as the non-conference began to unfold and as we got closer to SEC play and as we began to get an indication of what some of the teams were like, you could look at LSU, Missouri, Georgia, and Oklahoma as a stretch where you should pick up some wins, where you can get some wins. Now, I thought they'd have one under the belt by now, but they don't. But I still think this is a 4-game stretch where you can get some wins. Now, you're going to face a stretch after that. After you play Oklahoma, you're not going to play a midweek game until you play Kentucky on Saturday night. That starts a 4 or 5 game stretch where wins may be hard to come by. And hopefully you can steal one from someone. And you can get to the second half of this thing. And, you know, there are some other stretches in there where there are wins. There are some stretches the remainder of the year where, you know, you look at it and you go, maybe hard to win 4 games in a 5-game stretch there. But I do think these 4 games give them an opportunity to get their feet underneath them, so to speak. I was hopeful that they'd win 1 game last week because I thought these 4 games set up well that maybe they could get back over 500. Didn't happen. So now you've got to, you've lost 2 games at home, and you got to make up for those somewhere.
Don's in Garfield. Don, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Great show this morning.
Thank you,
Don. My grandfather taught me a long time ago to be patient, be quiet, sit at the restaurant coffee table and listen to the old men talk. They would teach you an awful lot. I've done that pretty much all my life. About 15 years or so ago, I was sitting at the coffee table with the old gentleman. We were talking Arkansas. And one of the guys at the table looked at us and he said, "Fellas, Arkansas will never win a national championship in any of the sports that they're in because of their culture." He said, "The culture at Arkansas is a losing culture." Now, what's wrong with our culture that we have this, and it's still true to this day, and when you look at it, there's something going on in the background and the back things that we're not seeing. And Chuck, maybe you can spread light to this because you probably see it more than anybody else besides the players, the coaches, and the teams. But it seems like we tend to get a really good thing going, and then something ruffles the feathers, gets things going. And I'm not going to knock Calipari because I think he's probably going to end up being where we're at and where we need to be. It's just going to take some time. But how tight is his hands? And I don't believe that that's a big issue. But do we really have a winning culture in the back scenes of Arkansas sports, period? Because the only thing we've really accomplished in sports that, well, and I won't say the only thing, because we don't hear about a lot of the other sports. But we've got a tremendous track team, and it's won tremendous awards, and we don't hear enough about them. Same with women's softball and other sports. They're coming up, and they're starting to be ranked higher and higher. But it seems like we get to the big show and can't seem to get over that hump, and then we get something good. And what's not bringing these kids together? Is there a bad culture in the background that we're not?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to stop you there. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, there's lots of schools out there that compete in intercollegiate athletics that don't win national championships, but that doesn't mean they have a losing culture. Just because you don't win a national championship does not mean you have a losing culture. It just does not.
But do we have a culture that's down toward losing versus winning? I'm not talking about national championships.
No.
I'm talking about
it is not a losing culture. The only people that talk about losing culture are the people on the outside looking in. It is not a losing culture. Just because you're not winning at the level you want to win at does not mean you have a losing culture. That is a narrative that is just not accurate. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Is there not something going on behind the scenes? I guess.
No. What are you talking about? Like there's some nefarious plot behind the scenes to not win?
No, not at all. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about you've got a business. I'll give you an example. You've got a business that's a prospering business, but you've got a manager or you've got people behind the scenes that want it their way, and that's the only way it's going to be, and so things can't happen.
Well, what are you talking about there? Who are these people? Who are these people that want it to be a certain way?
The Illuminati.
That's what I'm asking. It seems like we get started off our football season this year exactly that way. We got started off with the loss, but yet we looked really good, and then 3 games in, we were looking really good, and then all of a sudden it became a one-man show where people were starting to show off for themselves, and it became an individual team.
Who are you talking about there? Wait, you're speaking generally. Who are you talking about?
The whole team. You had players that were playing where they would only play with each other. They wouldn't include any others. I'm not great with names, so that's my terrible spot. But the reality to it is we've had, over the last 5 years, we've had tremendous players leave here and go someplace else that never even got the ball thrown to them. They're in the NFL now, and it was because of the teams that they went to that they were used and utilized. Now, I think we got some great people coming in, but are we going to utilize them again? Or is it going to be our quarterback's going to be throwing to his favorite receiver every single game, while some of the better receivers that could be doing something for the team, all because they missed 3 balls in a game, they're no longer part of the scheme?
Well, wait. We've really veered off from where this originally began. I hear your frustrations. They're not winning at the clip you would like them to. I hear that. But that doesn't mean you have a losing culture. That's culture is one of these terms that gets used a lot, and with a certain amount of good reason. But no, to go back to your original question, you said, is there something going on behind the scenes that's creating a losing culture? The answer to your question is no.
Don, we got to hit a break. I actually have maybe a little bit of understanding of what Don's talking about, and I'll attempt to unveil that next. But I'm also highly intrigued by the idea that there's a ghost in the building. I mean, it is. There's a curse and there's a ghost, and I'm going to talk about it, Chuck, when we come back. Right. It's 7:22 on the Chuck and Bo Culture Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations, Coach. I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Our New Year's sale is on at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Get total New Year's savings up to $13,000 on select in-stock new 2024 Silverados. That's up to $13,000 in total savings on a new Silverado. Limited time only during our New Year's sale at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Chevrolet, together let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 3/3/25.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, now 17 years in the industry. Cecil, this is the one-stop shop.
Yes, Jazzco Graphics Design, the one-stop shop, 2415 Midland, for your customer buck order.
Why ESPN 95.3?
I really enjoy listening in, and it keeps my day going while I'm at work. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I mean, I have a keen perception of the obvious. Let me tell you, I notice things that other people don't notice, and I am curious about why this is happening.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Well, the text on that last call are really something. Dustin says, hey, can you tell this guy it's extremely hard to win a national title in three major sports? We've got others that are not as kind. Look, I think I understand where this is. I mean, the way that Don described what he was trying to get across about hearing that Arkansas would never win because they have a losing culture, I think was maybe tough to follow. But I do think that a couple things. We have a hard time understanding that the term blue blood stems from teams winning, the same teams winning all the time. Like over the course of history, the same teams win. Now, sometimes they cycle out. Like Nebraska is no longer the football power they once were. Things happened. And you have mini dynasty runs, you know. Alabama was a significant one, but a mini one would be USC in football. But these programs are like massive and rich in tradition. Nebraska's maybe a fair comparison to Arkansas. When Arkansas left the Southwest Conference, they haven't been as good for most of their time in the SEC. But it's not like Arkansas was dominating the Southwest Conference either. They had a couple of great runs. Most teams are that. They're teams that can have, in any sport, can have some great runs. But the New York Yankees are the New York Yankees, and it's not changing. And they're not going to win every year, but nobody's going to be surprised when they do. Big market, big metropolitan areas, lots of money, all these things. And it's amazing to me that we all sit around and complain when we're not the New York Yankees. I mean, somebody told me the other day that they heard that the Waltons, who own the Denver Broncos, are part of the Denver Broncos. They were going to move the Broncos to Bentonville.
No.
They were dead serious. Yes,
it's been out there.
They were
Hey,
dead.
that's been out there a time or two over the years.
No. It's like how? How is Bentonville going to support the Broncos? Well, they got enough money. It's not going to matter. What are you talking about? You think people just do things? You think billionaires just do things to lose money? Like on the regular? Like at that level? What are we talking about? But I mean, we live in like this disillusioned idea that we can be the Yankees. It's equivalent to me having a dream as a kid to being a center in the NBA. Like, it's not happening. Doesn't mean my life is over and it's ruined and I might as well just give up on everything and not try to do anything in sports. Maybe take a different path, like have a big mouth and do a radio show. But I'm not going to be in the NBA. And the Broncos aren't moving to Bentonville. And the Razorbacks aren't going to win the national championship every year. And they're not going to be Alabama. And they're not going to be USC. And they're not going to be Georgia. Because they don't have the same metropolitan area. They don't have the same recruit. It doesn't mean they can't ever do it. It just means on the regular, that's not happening. And we all act like it should be. And we act like when John Calipari left Kentucky, that we should become Kentucky. Arkansas is not Kentucky. Bud Walton Arena is not going to be sold out, or at least packed. It might be sold out, but it's not going to have every seat filled every game. Different area, different tradition, different, doesn't make it bad. In fact, it's quite good. But I do understand this idea of, well, we have a, you know what the culture is? It's the attitude of the fans sometimes that creates the culture. Like when you win, the organization becomes more winning like. You go to work and the expectation goes up for everyone, and good leadership drives a high expectation regardless. But winning, look, Alabama's game day atmosphere, have you been to a game in Tuscaloosa, or did you go to a game in Tuscaloosa while Nick Saban was the coach? Like 2 or 3 years after he became the coach through his entire tenure. The game day atmosphere was incredible. Did you go to a game when Mike Shula was coaching? Like, winning changes some things. And it changes the culture, and it changes the way everything feels. And everybody's trying to do it. But you don't, in most cases, just create this awesome environment, and then that just leads to winning. It all kind of goes together. That's my rant. We'll get yours in a minute. Chuck, go ahead.
No, I think a lot of the things you said there, most of the things you said there are spot on. I just think that everybody's trying to win. But just because you don't win doesn't make you a loser. I mean, it just doesn't work like that. And I realize for some people it's very black and white, but in the real world it's just not that way.
Well, I let Don go way too long because I thought we were getting to the Illuminati at one point, and I was disappointed that we didn't get there. But because I did, we've got to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and take your calls. 877-377-6963. It's 7:33 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one Razorback. Number one.
Being a Razorback fan isn't just about the game. It's about the community, the tradition, and the moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks, they understand the importance of those moments. That's why they offer a selection of fine jewelry that goes beyond the ordinary, just like our hogs. Visit Blakeman's Fine Jewelry in Rogers, where you'll find that perfect piece to celebrate your Razorback spirit and the special moments in your life.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
We are possibly entering what could be a golden age in Razorback athletics.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Burlsworth with his new glasses. Looks like Clark Kent. This guy is dominating offensively. Indeed, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his MBA. The guy is just what top football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback. The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about? Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need. Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need. We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion. Or how about something from Tom Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays.
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Hi, this is Truett Tollett with WT Equipment. We're here to help you get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait, this offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future, elevate your potential.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cave, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Do you enjoy lunch with me?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's not any better than anybody else's lunch or anything like that, but I mean, it's all right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you don't win, you're a loser. Robert says, not everything is the fans' fault. Win or lose, I could never get behind Cal. Lifelong Razorback fan, Robert from Fayetteville. Well, it's interesting. He's your coach. Look, the idea of like this narrative, and it's perpetuated by, it's a pet peeve of mine. This idea that anybody's blaming the fans is such a joke. It like for what? What we do sometimes is we hold up a mirror. We all love to just tell everybody else it's their fault. We take no accountability, and it's just everybody else's fault. The environment sucks at Bud Walton Arena. The environment sucks, and I got nothing to do with it. I wasn't even there. Right, exactly. I watched it on TV, and it was empty. The stands were empty. What an embarrassment. You watched it on TV, and it's not your fault. Does that mean that you're a loser if you didn't go to the game? And the whole thing's your fault? No. Do you play a part in it? Do you want to be a part of it? Like when they win, do you want to feel like you're a part of it? But when they lose, you're like, it's somebody else's fault.
We blame one another for everything. When War Memorial Stadium's not filled up, we blame Central Arkansas. When Bud Walton Arena's not filled up, the people in Central Arkansas blame the people in Northwest Arkansas. That's kind of how. And we're not the only ones. I mean, the world plays the blame game now, and that's kind of how it is.
And that's when you get on Facebook. Charlie and Camden, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
See, Bo, I can jump right into these conversations with you two, and I fit right in to whatever you guys are talking about. Hey, Bo, have you not realized that you're also kind of a part-time comedian?
No.
I mean, it's there. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're funny, man. I mean, it's just, I don't care what people say.
New Year's
funny,
resolution.
Man. I mean,
yeah. I'm watching Kevin Hart shows every day.
I do appreciate you holding the fans accountable. Look, you're not blaming them. Here we go, because here's somebody going to call in after me and say that I'm just blaming the fans. No.
And the Broncos are moving to Bentonville.
Correct, they are. And we're getting a NBA team. You didn't know? It's coming. Anyway.
Yep.
But anyway, look, I'm with you 100% on that. I mean, look, this idea, it is true. I mean, we're not USC, we're not Los Angeles, we're not Atlanta, or, all these big marketplaces, and it's just reality. And the guy that said he's not, well, what was he feeling when Cal first got hired, I would like to know. Or did he just come up with that idea because we're 0-3 and we're not playing well right now? That's my only thing. I don't know. Maybe he's felt that way the whole time. But whatever. Some people are just that way. And when I look in the mirror, Bo, I do hold myself accountable. But I also see a gigantic head, so I try not to look too long because
I feel
like,
right.
how do I shrink this thing?
Right.
Can I shrink it?
Right.
But anyway.
Do you ever have a moment though where you're like, "Dang, I look pretty good today," and then it takes a while because you're like, "I don't usually look like that," and so you just stand there for a moment and you just say, "Wow, what a day for me."
It's the beard. It's the beard for me. That's the only thing that gives me a chance. But Chuck, I did not know you were a full-blown Cowboys fan. I wanted to ask you, as frustrating as it is for me as a Cowboys fan, and all this hoopla and soap opera. Look, as great as Jerry is as a businessman and all of those things, I have always stood by the fact that he just stinks as a GM, and whether or not he wants to admit it or not, that's just my opinion, and I'm not the only one that thinks that way. I don't know if you heard Troy Aikman's take last night.
Yeah.
Is this as coveted a job anymore as it used to be? And he said no because of the situation there. But I just wanted your take. You said you wanted Tomlin. I would be on board with that. With Deion, though, does Deion stand? My thing with Deion is I think he's he is Deion and all that. But I think as a man, Deion stands for certain things that I am a fan of. I'm not saying that's who I want, but I don't know if just because they're talking to him, he would take the job, because I don't know if he believes if Jerry would step over and move over and get out the way. That's my only issue. But anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie.
Well, they've got issues that go beyond, Jerry stepping out of the way, as a lot of people put it. They've got real personnel issues, and they're hamstrung financially in certain ways in terms of contracts and things like that. They've got a hole to dig out of. It's not as simple in the NFL or in the pros, pick your sport, as just hiring the right guy. College sports, you hire the right guy, you can turn things around in a hurry. Pro sports a little bit different. So, believe me, I don't think hiring Deion, suddenly makes them a contender. I really don't. But they talked last night, so it sounds like that. There's something there. But I do think Troy Aikman's right, too.
Troy Aikman's point was, Jerry not letting the head coach do what they want to do, and that being an issue. And that's been the criticism forever with the Cowboys, is he gets somebody that he can be the puppet master of. And so when you get a real strong personality head coach, they all have strong personalities, but when you get a real, Belichick or Mike Tomlin or Dan Campbell, like these guys, Andy Reid, how's that going to mesh? And that's what I was kind of joking about earlier. Like, the spotlight that Deion brings is pretty similar, if not equal or bigger than the one Jerry Jones has. And that's a lot.
One thing you got to remember. One thing you got to remember too. Jerry's 82. So we are in the final days of when he's going to be the face of the franchise. We're in the final days of that. And, the Cowboys continue to be profitable and make money despite the fact that they don't win at a championship level, and that's because they've got arguably the greatest promoter in sports as their owner. but he's aging out. And, you know, somebody's going to have to pick up that mantle. And if you're not going to win, you got to have a giant personality, and Deion's that guy. But I think Deion eventually could do both. But I think that there's going to have to be a real change.
Leonard and Van Buren, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Doing great, man.
Hey, Leonard.
All right. Hey, guys, I was just touching bases on, I'm going to make it short as I can here. Talk about the blue blood. There's a step above a blue blood. Everybody don't give Arkansas their props. We talk about football, basketball. Well, when the Olympics rolls around, track. Arkansas track team has been more than a blue blood for over decade after decade over decade. If you want to talk about a dynasty, that's a dynasty. That's a dynasty. You bring something up that can match that. Ain't nothing out there that can match it. Give Arkansas their props, and as always, go Cowboys. I don't care if we lose 14 to 20. Go Cowboys.
Spoken like a great American.
Well, he's right about Arkansas track. 877-377-6963. Brought to you in part by Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorback. Their newly renovated store is a sight to behold in Rogers. Check it out. Go check out the Tudor watches, the Rolexes, all the diamonds you can imagine. But if nothing else, just go look and be mesmerized at what's an amazing facility now. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, where your search ends and your journey begins. Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit GoPaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
Now is the time to join Hogs Plus, the Netflix for Razorback fans.
Arkansas wins it. Here they come.
Documentaries, exclusive interviews,
people everywhere, and then next thing you know, it's just everybody's packed.
Insider access, and an incredible library of films.
Arkansas leads it by 3.
A membership like no other.
I don't think it gets any better than this.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now.
Start your free trial today at hogsplus.com.
I like craft beer. I do.
You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Looking for a way to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button? Learnit.com not only has brands such as Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but the site includes exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else for your favorite brands. We have free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new tackle box treasures. Check out Learnit.com today.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
Pretty exciting. First time that we've done a podcast, and we're going to try to promote Fort Smith Public Schools, what we do with our basketball at all 6 schools, the 4 middle schools and both high schools. And then, of course, we've got several big-time tournaments coming up, one that starts today. And so this is going to be exciting.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Cadence for 3, it's on the way. Yes! Yes!
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I was supposed to ask him at the start of the segment what he did
really
last
appreciate
night.
you asking.
I forgot. What'd you do last night, Bo?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I can tell you that College Avenue is it's busy. As you
Is it?
That's a traffic update in Fayetteville. Sure, it's busy wherever you are too. It's the morning rush. It's the morning drive. It's the drive into work. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We're glad you're here. 10 and 2 on the wheel. Does anybody do that? I'm like a 4. I think it's healthier to be 4 and 8 on the wheel.
Sometimes I'm like one hand at the 6.
Yeah. Yeah. A thumb and an index finger.
Yeah.
At the 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you have you have a knob on your steering wheel, don't you? One of those that you can just turn the whole thing with the knob that sticks out of your steering wheel.
Sometimes I do 10 and 2 though.
Yeah.
If it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
If it's really bad.
It's
like
a death
if
grip.
it's icy or something like that.
You white knuckle the steering wheel.
You do the death grip.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
Having just driven to and from Dallas, I find myself thinking about these things on the drive and trying to just change up the position in which I'm sitting. Your neck starts getting tight, and you're like, so then you kind of put your arm over on the console, then you put it on the door, and then you got your hand on top of the steering wheel, and I don't know. We need more comfortable driving. We got to figure this out. But I was told by a chiropractor that you 4 and 8 on the steering wheel is a better position in terms of your neck and your back upper back tightening up. I don't know why I'm talking about this.
Wow.
Well, you started giving a traffic report, and here we are.
Yeah, you were giving a traffic report, and it morphed into the best way to hold the steering wheel.
The traffic report's brought to you by Stay Safe Arkansas. I just made that up.
I thought it was brought to you by that chiropractor.
Yeah.
They told you it was good to have your hands
Dr.
at
Steve
4 and 8.
Whitelaw. Yeah. Millennium Chiropractic, Dr. Steve Whitelaw. 877-377-6963. Pat Bradley's going to join us in about 30 minutes.
He is.
Yeah.
The shooter. The shooter.
Hogs at LSU tonight. And we've gotten into quite a few things so far today, and I'm sure it will continue about Razorback basketball. But things are just a little off at the moment. Can they – it's sort of like a little dial on a diver watch. It's just slightly off, like that face that you can twist. Can they get it clicked right to the top there where you just kind of get things moving? We're going to find out.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Best brands, best people, best inventory, best place. You want selection? You'll find it at the Auto Park. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. We're talking 4 of the best brands on the planet. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Plus, certified pre-owned Toyotas, Hondas, Acuras, and Chevys. Why settle for anything less than the best? Best brands, best people, best inventory, best place. Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Check us out online at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. That's FayettevilleAutoPark.com.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat Gnome Edge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank you all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank you all.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, it's going to be beautiful with lots of sunshine. A high this afternoon approaching 50 degrees. We will see an increase in the cloud cover tonight and overnight low in the low to mid-20s. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, low to mid-40s, and we should be in the low 50s by Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch & Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Chuck is deathly afraid of his identity being stolen.
I am. I'm to the age now where I watch Dateline NBC, and it's like, I'm never using my debit card again. I do. I worry about it because I'm
got
stupid.
bundles of
because
cash.
I'm stupid. I'm
He
stupid.
calls American Airlines and he goes, "How do I pay cash?"
That's exactly right. I got this
You are
mayonnaise
not
jar
getting my
full of money.
information. Those cookies are all over me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Chuck, you'd be proud of me.
How's that?
Well, I ran out of things to listen to on the way back from Dallas. I listened to all of our podcasts, all of my podcast, any podcast you'd ever done. I love hearing you. And ran out, I just went through all of them. And so I was, I had an hour and a half or so to go on the drive, and I'm like, what am I going to listen to? And I turned on Dateline NBC. Karen.
Wow.
What was Karen doing? Was she to blame? That was the and it so happened
That Morrison guy.
Yeah.
I forget his first
Yeah,
name.
we got-
man. The way he can do his voice.
A long time ago in Phoenix, Arizona. Happened in 1962. Lovely young couple just starting in life, out on their date in a 1959 Chevrolet with those sweeping tail fins. They wound up dead.
Wow. Wound up dead.
The resulting murder investigation.
Wound up dead.
Yeah, that's every one of them.
They wound up dead.
Man. Hey, he is so dramatic the way he does that. I mean,
He went through the whole
his
car.
voice inflection is that is $1 million voice.
It is. Go back to the explanation of the car. It's a beautiful setup.
Lovely young couple just starting in life, out on their date in a 1959 Chevrolet with those sweeping tail fins. They wound up dead.
That is so funny. I mean, it's not funny.
And the
but,
resulting murder
the way he
investigation
presented
found no one for years until they finally latched on a man named Bill McCumber. What happened to Bill McCumber?
Yeah, it's a classic. It really is. I mean, to be able to weave a tale.
There's
and
nobody better than Keith Morrison.
And turn
My
a
God.
phrase like Keith Morrison. Oh,
Oh, he's good.
One of the stories
He's
of
very, very
American
good.
jurisprudence that people talk about and have been talking about for decades.
All right. Okay. We got it. Oh, well, it's a plug for Dateline.
They wound up dead.
They all do. They always do. They all do. So the one I was listening to was it was somebody in Arkansas, and it was just this. They had 3 different culprits, and then somebody was found guilty, but we're not quite sure it was the right person.
Well,
Dateline NBC. Oh, I heard that in the open, and I just couldn't resist. It's the Chuck and Bo show. Chuck's in Baton Rouge. They're still playing in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center.
They are still playing. Yeah.
Built in the 70s.
As long as I can remember LSU basketball, they played in the Maravich Center, and it's when Katrina hit, I think virtually every roof panel was blown away, and the building took some damage. They just patched it up, and away they went. And they've this is where Shaq played. This is where they've had some great teams here, and I've been in this place when it's been packed. And it's been the Death Dome, which is what they used to call it back in the day. And I've been in there when you could hear a pin drop. So I'm not sure what it's going to be like tonight, to be honest with you.
They got a new head coach, McMahon. Is it McMahon? Is that
second year guy?
Yeah, second year.
Yeah,
Murray State.
Second year guy.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, how is LSU? What's this going to be like?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest. I thought LSU might be a little bit better than they've been so far. He's a pretty good coach, and I thought last year they were pretty competitive. This has been, when you look at this week and what Arkansas needs to do. This is it's a big one tonight. But LSU's a beatable team, but I'm sure they're thinking the same thing about Arkansas too.
Pat Bradley, the shooter. SEC Network analyst. Boy, he's come a long way. Is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Yeah, we'll talk about. He does a great job, and we'll get his thoughts.
He really does do a great job.
Where Arkansas is, and he had some salient points about where the Razorbacks are the other night on the broadcast, and the game's on the SEC Network tonight, so you'll probably see him in studio. I don't know where he is in the rotation, but I imagine he'll be in studio tonight. But what are you going to do if you run into Kim Mulkey? Will you say hi? Will you exchange words? Will you all have a cup of coffee pregame back in the media room?
Well, we go way back, so I'm sure we'll spend some time catching up.
I'll give you $100 and I'll pay up front if you'll wear a similar outfit to what she had on the other night. You're a hoop. You're the ball going through the hoop.
That was so funny. I saw that clip of her reaming the ref right before halftime. And the wide shot, she just looked ridiculous. it was like, if you looked at it from afar, it would be hard to take her seriously. Now, I'm sure if you're 2 inches away from her and she's just, telling you everything that's wrong with you, I'm sure it's hard to notice the outfit. But, from the wide shot, it just looked really funny.
So I got this hat at the Cotton Bowl, speaking of things you wear, okay? And it's a nice hat. It's just one of those, Ty, my son, was with me, and he got a few things, and he got this for me on my credit card, of course.
Yeah.
Dad, I got you something.
Sure.
Cool. You paid for it. Yep. But I got it for you. Thank you. And so I like the front of the hat. It's got the Cotton Bowl logo on one side of the front, and then the playoff logo right next to it. It's a unique hat, okay? And then I started looking around the other parts of the hat. And on one side is the Texas Longhorn. And on the other side is the Ohio State logo.
No.
And I wanted to know if Chuck, I got you a hat. Will you wear it?
A hat like that?
Yes. This exact hat. Yes.
No.
So you won't wear it. So don't bother giving it to somebody.
By the way, I have wondered where our gear was. I knew you'd be bringing back Rose Bowl gear and Cotton Bowl gear. So whenever you bring that in, that'll be great. But that That hat you're wearing right now, no,
Yeah.
I would probably not.
Yeah, so
not sport that.
I've worn it twice and gotten exactly 15 comments about like the Texas logo. That's apparently all anybody can see on the side.
Well, you didn't really notice it. I mean,
right there.
And plus, your son bought it for you.
Right.
So
That's a-
I mean,
that's a
when someone
perfect
says,
excuse.
"What are you doing wearing that Texas hat?" Well, my son bought it for me. So I got to wear it.
It wasn't lost on me that we talked about how you can't root for any of these four teams if you're not a fan of them, and that I've got two of the logos on one hat. That wasn't lost on me.
Who are you rooting for in the national championship game? Who are you going to root for?
Man, I don't know. I don't really. I don't have like a rooting interest in the game. I know some people at Notre Dame, good people. Everybody talks about what a great guy Marcus Freeman is. Like what you see publicly is what he is all the time. I love the Ryan Day story just because, I mean, they left him for dead. The fans at Ohio State left him for dead. And he's about to, I mean, he's the favorite by like 9 points to win the national championship. And they literally, if you turned it over to the fans, he would have been fired after the Michigan game. Fired.
I got to tell you, if I was an Ohio State fan, and I didn't pay a lot of attention to them, to be honest with you, I just knew they were good. I knew they lost to Michigan. I assumed, like everybody else did, that Ryan Day was going to become a short-timer. But I've watched them in the playoff. I don't know how they lost a game. I don't know how anybody played them within a touchdown this year. How did that team lose to Michigan?
I don't know.
If I was an Ohio State fan, I might have been mad too. But to me, they're clearly the best team out there. And look, I take nothing away from Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's offense and Ohio State's offense, they're not even comparable. And this team should win the ball game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I don't know if they will, but I can't pull for them.
You can't.
So, I mean, I'm lost. Like one day I think, well, I'm going to pull for Notre Dame. I kind of like Marcus Freeman. But then it's like, what are you doing? They're Notre Dame. And then I watch Ohio State, and I think, man, they're so good. I want to watch them just boat race somebody. I mean, run them off the field. And then I'm like, but it's Ohio State. How can you do that? It goes against everything you believe in.
So here we are with no SEC
So here we are.
And if Texas had been in, it wouldn't feel any different. There was not going to be an SEC team in this final.
No,
and,
that's right.
And I heard a point made yesterday by Rick Neuheisel and Chris Childers on Sirius XM, College Sports Channel, Channel 84. There you go. That's the credit and the plug. And I occasionally listen to them and enjoy. And I think Rick Neuheisel does a great job.
I like Neuheisel.
And Childers is Childers, and he's just fun. But the point was that Greg Sankey, 12 to 24 months ago, was the most powerful man in college football. And today he's lost all his power. And the SEC is on its way to death. Just like Keith Morrison said a minute ago.
They wound up dead.
It's wound up dead. And now that may be exaggerated, but here this to me is a good point. Greg Sankey started this whole thing, and it's backfired on him. And I like Greg Sankey, and I think he does a wonderful job, and I think he's very thoughtful and incredibly intelligent. But this thing backfired on him when he went and got Texas and Oklahoma and brought them in the league. Because then the Big Ten retaliated, and they went and built their league. And the SEC is not as strong as it once was, I don't think. And
it's not as dominant.
It's not as dominant. And the Big Ten went and got a lot better. And so here we are. We're in a little bit of an identity crisis as SEC people. Because Nick Saban's left Alabama. He's on TV, doing a great job. And Georgia was going to be the next team in the league, and they're so not dominant right now. Their quarterback's gone to Miami to be with his girlfriend, make $4 million if you believe the NIL reports. I mean, can you imagine if I told you like 2 or 3 years ago that that Saban was no longer going to be at Alabama. They were going to not be in the playoff, a 12-team playoff. They weren't going to be in it. And Georgia, who looked like they were going to just win the rest of the national championships, would lose their starting quarterback to Miami for a bunch of money and his girlfriend.
I just think money in the portal, the NIL and the portal, switch the playing field. What's brought other people back into the game, so to speak. And I don't know that there's much you can do about that. The system's not set up for either the SEC or the Big Ten to continually dominate anymore. I think it'll be cyclical. I suspect over the next 10 to 15 years, the pendulum will swing back to the SEC, and then it'll swing back toward the Big Ten. Look at basketball. 5-10 years ago, could you have ever imagined a day when people would be talking about 11 or 12 SEC teams getting into the basketball tournament? They got a chance to get more schools into the tournament this year than anybody ever. 5 years ago, if you'd said that, 10 years ago, you'd have been laughed out of the room. So things are cyclical. Right now, the Big Ten's on an uptick, and the SEC is leveled out. And that's made it a close race, in my opinion.
Things change. They could change in a minute. And we're wondering if it's going to change quickly for Arkansas basketball. And part of that for me is them feeling better, having more confidence. And that's what we all need, and we're all better when we feel that way. You know, our moods change. Like, life changes. And you feel great one day, you don't feel great the next. But you hear athletes talk about feel good, look good. At Swetnam Cosmetic, that's what they believe in. Like, look good, feel good. It impacts the way you live. It impacts your daily life. And that can apply to all of us. Dr. Jeff Swetnam's a friend, been a doctor for a long time, and he believes guys deserve wellness and vitality. So quit feeling bad, quit feeling tired. And by the way, if you want to enhance your look, there are options for that too. Not just for women. We all want to look and feel better. SwetnamCosmetic.com. Take the Swetnam Edge. It's on the top of the website. You'll see the Swetnam Edge. Click on that. Get the free evaluation and find out where you are with your health and vitality. SwetnamCosmetic.com. The Swetnam Edge. Chuck and I have both done it. Better off for it. And you can be too. It's 8/17 on a Monday. Nope, it's a Tuesday. Wow. I really am lost on days of the week now. This travel thing's got me all messed up. It's Tuesday. The Hogs play tonight. All day long on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Our New Year's sale is on at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Get total New Year's savings up to $13,000 on select in-stock new 2024 Silverados. That's up to $13,000 in total savings on a new Silverado. Limited time only during our New Year's sale at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Chevrolet, together let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 3/3/25.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Paschal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit GoPaschal.com today to schedule your service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
So I spent yesterday, you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker-Neuson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wacker-Neuson dealer.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Proud to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Bart, I marvel at your wisdom. Okay. I don't know how to do this, but because you're so much smarter than me, I'm sure you do.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Penn State's All-American tight ends declared for the draft, Tyler Warren. What a fun player to watch in college.
You know, he was recruited as a quarterback. That's a big dude.
Yeah. He was dunking in high school.
When they were playing SMU, I think it was, I can recall looking at the screen, and he was standing next to one of SMU's guys, and he just towered over him. And I thought, wow, if that's indicative of what every position's going to be like size-wise, I know who's going to win this game.
Yeah.
That guy's a football player.
Yeah, he is. He's going to make a lot of money in the NFL. Probably made a lot at Penn State.
He is.
We got has the rev share thing passed? I thought I saw a story on it yesterday that I mean, we know it's going to happen. It's coming this summer. And I'm a little curious, Chuck, on how it's going to go.
I think there's going to be far-reaching effects. Far-reaching.
How does it change where we are now?
Well, I don't know that it changes so much things in terms of how we watch football, basketball, but there are going to be things that maybe we as fans notice, things we don't notice. You're not going to have long trips to play non-conference games anymore. You're going to have a lot more teams flying commercial as opposed to flying charter. You're not going to have teams going from one coast to the other to play a non-conference game. You're going to have non-conference opponents, close proximity, in-state schools, bus rides. Panic's not the right word, but I can tell you in every athletic department, including Arkansas's, it is a nonstop operation right now to figure out how they're going to pay for all this stuff, because it's not like this money magically appears. It may be revenue sharing, but you're still going to have to, that's money you've been spending. So schools, from their perspective, they're going to have to come up with $20 million. People are going to lose their jobs. And I don't mean they're going to it's going to amount to a firing. They're going to get laid off. People that are going to leave, their positions aren't going to be filled. Departments are going to be much leaner 5-10 years from now than they are right now. We'll notice a lot of this stuff, but the next year or two, we're going to begin to see some real signs of real change, I think.
I wonder, too, if this is going to kind of enable is probably not the right word, but enable schools to choose what they want to be good at in terms of how much of the revenue they're allocating toward which sports, right?
And how that's balanced
right.
across all 20 teams.
So, like, if you're a school, I don't know.
I mean, 20 teams within one athletic department.
Right, like, look at UConn, for example, right? UConn's never been good in football or whatever. Are they going to allocate a lot more resources to basketball,
men's and women's?
Yeah, than they are football. I would say probably. Like, that makes sense for them. So, like, can schools be like, well, you know what? We're just going to be really awesome in men's basketball now, and we're going to spend as much money as anybody in men's basketball to be really good in that sport. And can schools kind of choose what they want to, try to be good at now, at least?
And how well? And then you go to one team. How do you divvy up the money with one team, whether it's football or basketball?
Well, you have to be good in the profitable sports. The idea that, we're just going to be good in the nonprofit sports. In this era, you can't do that. I hear what you're saying, but that's the reason everybody wants to be good at football, and that's the reason football drives all the changes, is because you got to be good at the money sports. And I wish it wasn't that way. I mean, I really do. But that's where you've got to put your resources.
Pat Bradley's coming up in a couple of minutes. 877-377-6963. If you got a question you want us to get into with Pat, you can text us, and we'll try to include that in what will no doubt be a very comprehensive conversation, led by Chuck. Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you.
Led by the shooter, man.
Yeah,
Pat,
by the way,
what do you see?
By the way, it's National Shop for Travel Day. I had to read that 2 or 3 times. Shop for Travel Day. Elaborate on what, since you put it in the notes, Bart. I think I know what that means, but explain.
Yeah, just like getting the things that you need to travel with, or like your go-to
So I didn't
items.
have that. I didn't have that. I had like shop to go, like look for places to go, like a vacation,
no, like this is
Barbados, the Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas. Like, get online today and book your next vacation. That's what I thought.
I'm sure you could do that.
But what you're saying is like buy a new suitcase,
right?
Buy a new travel bag.
Correct.
It's okay. Shop for Travel Day. Chuck, you're pretty well equipped to travel. I mean, you do it enough. But do you find yourself like, man, I could use a new bag?
Actually, no, that's incorrect.
I do that a lot. Hey, I go through suitcases. I've decided lately I've gone the duffel route. I went the small hard shell suitcase route for a little while.
Yeah.
And I can tear those up with the best of them.
Wow.
But I like a duffel.
So
I like to be able to throw it over my shoulder
on a small suitcase.
Well,
I'm just throw that thing around.
It's not so much me. I mean, baggage handlers, things happen.
So you got like a cross-strap duffel situation going on.
I'm going duffel now, man.
Okay. All right. What do you got, Bart? You said that was incorrect?
Incorrect, actually. Yeah.
You gave us bad. You are no Adam Schefter.
Yeah,
you gave us bad information.
Well, I gave you bad intel, but I've come back and corrected it. The original description I found, as it turns out, was flawed. So it is what you.
As it turns out,
it is exactly what you thought it was, Bo. You were 100% right.
Wow.
It is to plan your trip. Plan your trip.
Yeah, okay. Well,
which maybe they should call it National Plan Your Trip Day.
Chuck, you don't have tip-off until 8 o'clock tonight. You got all day to work on that. You plan your next trip, and I want to hear about it tomorrow.
I've got certain compartments in my backpack that certain items go in for every trip. Like, for example, I have to have blue or yellow sweetener for my coffee. I'm a diva in that respect. I can't have pink. I don't go real sugar. So I've got a compartment in my backpack
Well,
I have a compartment in my backpack that is always chock full of either blue or yellow sweetener for my morning coffee. I did not restock it before this trip.
Have you ever heard the story where Chuck accidentally went to a dispensary thinking he was getting equal or whatever? Blue or yellow he asked for. They're like, what they brought out was not what he was expecting for his coffee.
I had to go pink. I had to go pink this morning, and I'm telling you, that's just not as good. It's just not as good.
8:30 on the Chuck and Bo Show, and the shooter.
It's the little things that make the trip. It's the little things that make the trip.
Pat Bradley joins us next.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that allowing him to call in occasionally is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas. Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a woo big shirt. They don't bleed hot red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I tell you what, I know this got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. There's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4. We got that wood right here, baby. Somebody better look at this guy. He's the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Basketballs bounce, cheerleaders cheer, and fans are flocking to the Paint Store in Van Buren. The Paint Store in Van Buren is known for their color matching. The Paint Store in Van Buren is known for their help with color selection. The Paint Store in Van Buren shares their expert advice from 35 years of experience. If you haven't been to the Paint Store in Van Buren, you are missing out. How about you give them a shout next time you need some real-life help you can't get on YouTube?
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith, or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087, or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Ty Richardson for American Patriot Promotions. They have their Mina Gun Show coming up Saturday, February 1st and Sunday, February the 2nd. The American Patriot Promotions Mina Gun Show is located at the Polk County Fairgrounds in Mina. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for veterans, military, police, and first responders. For more information on this event, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com. American Patriot Promotions is the best avenue for outstanding gun shows.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Can I just tell you, I love getting to know you.
Yeah, whatever.
It's been such a good year getting to know you.
Yeah, well,
I'm really looking forward to 25.
Imagine how much fun it's been for me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, man. Chuck's in Baton Rouge. Pat Bradley's been there several times. He's joining us now. Former Razorback, SEC Network college basketball analyst. He's just a shooting star that we're happy to have on the show. What's up, Shooter?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Oh, it's been too long, my friend. We got to get you on here more often. I mean, this is where it all happens, Pat. We've been missing you. How are you, buddy?
Good. Yeah, sorry, I think I missed you guys right around SEC Media Days back in October, but glad to connect. Glad to connect with you.
What do you think of the Hogs so far?
What do you see when you watch the Hog? Yeah. What do you see, man?
So, I think most people will look at scoring in the 50s against Tennessee, back-to-back 60-point games. It's pretty evident, we got to make a shot. I mean, that's just right out of the chute. We got to make a shot. And, watching, I felt all season there was inconsistency with the defense. And, I think if you're going into a game and you're game planning against the Hogs, it's like, okay, they haven't been able to make a shot, so, let's obviously that's what we're going to give them. We're going to give them anything, whether it's playing the zone and keep them out of transition. Don't let them run. So, even though we're struggling offensively, I just feel like from a defensive standpoint, Coach Cal's always been a defensive guy. I just feel like, if we can just focus on lockdown defensively, not giving up those straight line drives to the basket, not giving up some of those offensive rebounds, and maybe that'll help us get out in transition just a little bit more. But there's nothing like, hey, everybody loves a shooter. I mean, you need someone to put the ball in the hole. That's number one.
Well, I look at this team, Pat, unlike maybe some other years when a team's struggling and you think, well, it's just going to be a rough year and we'll see what happens next year. But this team has so much talent. And when I watch them, and I'd love to hear your thought on this, they just don't seem comfortable and they don't seem confident. Like each individual player in their role, and then that obviously leads to not being connected and playing well together. But I just see guys not playing like themselves. Like when DJ Wagner drove the lane in the second half and just punched it, and it ignited everyone. I mean, and then Cal even talked about it after the game. Like where is that? Why are we? Where these? This is what these guys do. What do you see with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's call it what it is. First of all, John L. Davis goes 0 for 8. I mean, that's a head scratch. I mean, that's the guy that you brought in thinking, I mean, he's a former, I guess he was co-player of the year in his league. But, he's averaging 8 points a game. I mean, that's, he's a double-digit guy. And you're right. I mean, DJ Wagner, I feel, after watching him last year, he had a good freshman year. I think average 10 points a game. He was, Boogie Fland is a guy who you never know what you're going to get from a freshman, but he's a pleasant surprise. Ivicic, I thought he would give you more. Jonas Adu, I thought he would give more. I think Adu Farrow is probably the story of, almost, maybe the most improved player in the SEC, certainly from a statistical standpoint. So, yeah, Bo, you look at it and you see the talent. It's almost like you know what these guys have done in the past, and they're not doing it now. And that's the frustrating thing. It's like, it's inside of them somewhere. It's just, it hasn't come out. And you keep thinking to yourself, or I do anyway, like, yeah, okay, well, they will put it together at some point. And it's early. And Coach Cal's going to remind us of that. It's early. But at some point, you've got to, kick this thing into high gear.
Pat, you were talking about Nellie Davis a minute ago. You were a shooter, and shooters got to shoot. And sometimes they go, and sometimes they don't. You got to keep shooting. Kind of, what's your thought on what's going on between the ears for him right now? Because, the thought that he would go 0 for 8, if you watched him play at FAU, the thought that he would come here and go 0 for 8 in a game and be averaging, as you say, like 8 points a game, it just seemed really far-fetched. What is this a mental thing?
What's kind of interesting is, so the beginning of my junior year, I went through, I would say, a slump in the non-conference. And I can remember Coach Richardson, he pulls me aside. He goes, "What's going on? Are you lifting too many? Is it lifting weights? What's going on with your shot?" I said, "I don't know. The only thing I could do was just get back in the gym. I lived in the gym, but just get back to my routine of, going through my shooting form and just continuing to just stay at it. And then eventually, things started to click, and I kind of got my rhythm back, if you will. The thing that is, and I'm just trying to think about this. I was thinking about this last week with him. Somebody asked me that. I don't like, for a shooter, comfort in, I was a very vision, like if it looked good to me, then I could shoot. So I don't know. This is a first-year guy. He's never played in Bud Walton Arena. This is all, I don't know. Does that matter? Maybe that's it. Maybe, there were certain spots on Bud Walton floor, to me, feel comfortable, and, visually it looks good to my eye. The right corner, I don't like to shoot from the right corners, because the backboard screws me up. I like to shoot from the left wing, top of the key, even the left corner. So I don't know. Maybe is a new gym, is a new arena, maybe not satisfying to his eyes. I don't know. That could be it. Maybe he's going to get used to that. So, there's a lot of things. It's like it's like the golfers, Chuck. You know what I mean? Like like putting. It's weird. It's almost like sometimes it's all on feel. Shooters can be a little bit strange sometimes.
Pat Bradley, SEC Network, our guest. By the way, the scouting report's out on Pat Bradley now. So if you're planning a pickup game, maybe it's we're going to lock that down. We'll make sure he's on the opposite team of whatever charity event coaches Chuck is coaching next. Pat, overall, along with what you're talking about with Nelly, the whole team, how do you get, if you're Cal, how do you get these guys just believing in themselves again and playing together? We've seen it. Again, you talked about it. It's in there. But, how do you I don't know. How do you get it back? Can you?
I almost think that sometimes, and the other side of it is, too, is once, these guys want to win. Coach Cal they all want to win. They know how to win. They've done that. They've been there. There is, I think there is, though, sometimes where guys, they try and do too much. They put too much on their shoulders. I don't know if it's maybe Cal just says, hey, you know what? Boom, today, no practice. Let's go down to the bowling alley. No practice. Let's go down. Let's rent out the, do they still have cinemas? Is that still a thing? Do people still go to movies?
Theater?
I don't even know. I admit to it.
We got roller skating? Let's go skate.
Roller skate.
Let's go
There you
roller
go.
skate. Yeah.
There you go.
Go-karts.
Tape up your ankles.
Go-karts.
Let's go. There you go. Let's go to the arcade. Let's go play a little bit of.
With Donkey
I don't
Kong.
even remember any arcade games anymore.
Pac-Man.
But Miss Pac-Man. There you go, Miss Pac-Man. I almost feel like, maybe do something like that because, I mean, they've got to be feeling that kind of pressure. Coach Cal, first year, these guys know it's Fayetteville, the Razorbacks. They hear all about, what's going on. 0-3 in the league, and people are questioning them, and they're questioning themselves. I mean, like I said, they know. I mean, these guys are coming from winning programs. These guys are coming from, Nellie Davis, for anybody who was talking about him. I mean, he's never had a season like this. I mean, the kid's a winner. So, maybe you just kind of say, fellas, let's get back to, let's drop all this. Everyone's carrying around all this weight on their backs. That, as you said, it's in there. It's not like they forgot how to play. And let me just say this, too. You play the number one team in the country. You play a top 25 Ole Miss team, and Florida's a Final Four team. So, I mean, I don't want to, people don't want to hear that. I get it. But it's three darn good teams you played. Let's just, Ole Miss is better than a top 25 team. I mean, Ole Miss is a Sweet 16 team. So, again, I get it. Teams don't want to hear that side of it. But, and let me tell you, LSU is a team 0-3. Their backs are against the wall, just like the Hogs. They're going to be coming out fighting, scratching, clawing. So it's really, it's a tough league this year. Coach Cal said it. It's a tough league.
Pat Bradley, you can catch him on the SEC Network. Are you in the studio tonight or no?
I got Florida versus Missouri tonight in Gainesville.
Okay, so you're on the call. All right. Well, we'll catch you next time, and we might watch a little bit of that game. Pat, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you hopping on, as always. You're the best.
Thank you, Pat.
Oh, fellas, always love being with you guys. See you soon.
Thanks, man. Talk soon. Pat Bradley.
Hey, before we go to a break, I want to talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, for just a minute. I want to get that in before we call it a day. We talk about how they've turned houses into homes since 1978. If you're going to turn a house into a home, you got to listen to the person that's buying the home. You got to understand what their hopes and dreams are. They got to become yours, and then ultimately you got to go out and you got to go find that house, and that comes from experience, comes from knowing the region. And that's what you always get with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They have been around a long time. They do know the area like the back of their hand. They are going to listen. Whether you're buying or selling, this is the team you want on your side of the table. I can tell you that from personal experience. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith, Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
Back in a minute on the Chuck and Bo Show, 8:49 on a Tuesday. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip of the coin?
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue, replacing an aging heating and air system, or upgrading your electrical, our Pascal pros are here to keep your home running smoothly and stress-free. Visit gopascal.com today to schedule your service. Pascal Air, Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. See dealer for details with approved credit. Restrictions apply.
Just thinking, what is a Pirates' favorite college football team?
Say it, Bart.
Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Ty Richardson for American Patriot Promotions. They have their Meet a Gun show coming up Saturday, February 1st and Sunday, February the 2nd. The American Patriot Promotions Meet a Gun show is located at the Polk County Fairgrounds in Mena. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for veterans, military, police, and first responders. For more information on this event, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com. American Patriot Promotions is the best avenue for outstanding gun shows.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Great point, Bo.
Thank you.
I'm Chuck. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. I'm going to start taking credit. Like when you make a great point, I'm going to call myself Chuck.
All right, fair enough.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, we're wrapping things up. Brought to you by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Chuck, the odds are out for the 2025 National Championship, and Georgia and Texas are tied for the best odds in the SEC. Arkansas has got the 13th best odds to win the national championship in football next year, 110-1. So place your bets now. Also, the College World
Well,
Series.
you've already said they're going 9-3.
Well, I mean, that'll get them in the playoff. I mean, you gotta get into the playoff first. Mississippi State's 1,000 to 1, by the way. They're the last place odds. It's the bottom is Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. So Arkansas comes into this season expected to be better than Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State. Baseball College World Series odds. Arkansas's got the third best odds to win the College World Series, but the two teams ahead of them,
Texas A&M, Tennessee,
are both in the SEC. Chuck, have a good call. We're out of here.
All right,
There's a
thanks,
sense of
guys.
pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA. There's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realty and the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric, we're here to help lighten the load. This new year, enjoy no payments and no interest on all home repairs and replacements. Whether it's fixing that stubborn plumbing issue